You are listening to the $1 Million Podcast. Welcome to the show, everyone. I'm excited for today. It's going to be a great day here. Got a couple guys back on the $1 Billion couch, and we are watching the Masters. Look at this. I mean, this is the first time we've ever recorded while watching sports.
Yeah, it's Sunday morning. Tiger is at -7. He's 2 off the lead. So
What?
He's going to be going off in the second to last group.
He's -7? No, he's not.
This is Sunday morning. Everyone's listening. Sunday morning. Tiger's 2 off the lead. He's right where he needs to be. This is his course. This is his time. Tiger will be winning the 2022 Masters. You heard it here first.
I actually don't think that'll happen.
He is winning the Masters. Watching him yesterday, Thursday, he is like his old self. The only thing he can't really do is walk. And who cares about that?
Isn't that funny that like he has a harder time walking than he does
playing
golf?
Did you see his quote before the Masters? He's like, yeah, golf's not the problem.
He's like walking around the course.
The other stuff.
And he's like, and it's a long course, so it's a lot of walking.
And it's a super hilly.
I mean, can't they do like the Chuck Daly like golf cart?
They got rid of that
for fat person thing. Like,
I don't know why they got rid of that years ago. They should bring it back.
I mean, you got an injured player here. Like, come on. So
yeah, he hasn't played a competitive tournament in 17 months. He almost died in the car accident, and he almost got his leg amputated. And somehow here he is, 2 off the lead.
I think that is, so let's just have the conversation about Tiger first, since we're already doing that. We're watching the Masters. This is big news. And, I mean, first of all, the odds of this person, like he just overcomes everything. I mean, he broke his leg, and he's like, his leg was going to get amputated. He's playing golf.
He won a tournament on a torn ACL. He's had a million back issues. He's had huge scandals with infidelity. Like, he's literally the Teflon man. He can't die.
Yeah, you cannot bring him down. And I think the cool thing about, so for those of you who are not that big of golf fans, so Masters week is, I think, the best week in golf, right?
Yeah, I want to say something. Except for my team being in a championship of a sport, championship game, the Masters is the best sporting event out there. Would you agree with that? Just like
I honestly would say singular event. It is just the I put March Madness ahead of it.
March Madness is good, but Masters is better though.
No, March Madness is 3 weeks, and the first 2 days are so much fun.
They are good.
It's like 4 games of basketball at once. They're all close. You care about everyone.
One thing I put up there, I think between the Masters #1, March Madness 3, World Cup 2.
World Cup, yes. So have you ever watched the World Cup in a foreign country, not the United States?
No, I don't think I've been.
It is so much better outside of America because so I used to go to Syria growing up, and you would have like people hanging flags over their balcony. And Syria was pretty cool because obviously their national team sucks. Right. And so everyone adopts a new team. So you see like Brazil, Argentina, Germany, Spain. It's like, it was awesome. Yeah. So I've loved World Cup summers. And this is a World Cup summer in Qatar.
I know. It's weird that it's December.
It's like,
right?
Yeah, it's kind of winterish, but why is that?
Yeah.
It's a COVID thing?
Because Qatar is super hot in the summer. So they didn't want to put it in the summer. And obviously, no shady dealings to get Qatar the World Cup. I'm sure it was all above board.
No, that was shady.
Yeah,
they bribed the committee.
It's a joke.
That came out though.
I know, it's a joke. I mean, duh. Why else would it be in Qatar, like the middle of the desert, in like a summer tournament? Like, makes no sense.
And then they change it to December.
Yeah,
but that's the thing I like about soccer is like in the World Cup, let's do the thing that makes the most economical sense and not even pretend like we have all this tradition. We're just gonna move it to the winter. Who gives a shit?
It's coming U.S. next time, right? That'll be really good. Like before, like it was in Brazil. They were playing in like the rainforest areas. Like put it in a normal country that has stadiums galore. England, America, anywhere else in Europe.
England?
Yeah, because they have all the soccer infrastructure already there. Like in all these other countries, like Brazil, they have to make all these new stadiums, use them for a couple weeks, and then they sit vacant, kind of like the Olympics in Athens, like just like desolate areas afterwards.
I can understand that. It's a waste of resources. I could see that.
Right.
Yeah. The world should not be wasting its resources on empty soccer stadiums.
But back to Tiger. So the reason I knew he was going to do well this week is his ability to deal with pain is literally unmatched in the sporting world. I think there's a lot of things you can take from that because like he pushes through whatever he has to go after his goal. It's really inspiring.
I think I'll say that it's unmatched in the sporting world from a star. Mm-hmm. So I think that there are a lot of stories, and I don't want to like people playing through pain, like role players on championship teams, stuff like that. But I mean, for Tiger, I mean, it's, I think it's
especially at his age too, 47. Like he had nothing more to prove.
The cool thing is about golf, like you cheer for players, not teams. Mm-hmm. So like it's very rare that you hate someone in golf. Like I don't really hate very many people in golf. Do
And it's
you?
very rare that you get really excited when someone wins a golf tournament. Like that just like doesn't, you kind of root for some people, but
No,
like
Tiger's the only
Tiger's
person
the
at
only
this
one you're
age that
like,
really
I am
has that.
so happy. Like I almost cried in 2019.
I did
when he won.
cry.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I'm gonna cry on Sunday today. As you're listening, a few hours, I'll be crying when he wins.
You're really confident. I
No,
don't
he's gonna
think
win.
he'll win, but I think
Yep.
he'll be top 10. He'll have a good showing and he'll, it'll be cool for him.
All right. Well, we bet on Tiger to win 50-1. So
50 to 1?
50-1.
Really?
And that's like Tiger odds. Obviously, everyone's betting that. So if it was like, his same skill level with like a normal person, he would have
Well,
been
I think
way
that
higher.
after they're seeing him play, I bet they're regretting the 50 to 1 that they put on it.
Probably.
Like,
Yeah.
I mean, the guy hasn't played golf in forever.
They're
At
gonna
50
pay
to
a
1
lot of money.
All right. So what do we have today? Let's go through the agenda. I've got a lot of topics, but I think that it's important that wait. Can we talk about the Jayhawks?
Yes, we have to. I want to hear about New Orleans, the whole experience, and
Okay. So I bought these tickets in I think it was the Elite Eight. And my idea was, I think bracketology wise, I did really well this year, except for my futures. So I did well everything early in the tournament and I sucked late. And the thing I forgot to bet on was Duke with the corruption of the officiating in the NCAA tournament. I mean, they're Elite Eight and Elite Eight and Sweet 16 games. I think they should have lost either.
Even in
the
the Final Four against UNC, you see the UNC coach screaming at them because UNC had way more fouls than Duke the entire game.
Yeah, and the reason why Duke lost wasn't because of like the officiating. It was they missed the free throws that they were given. Like they just couldn't make free throws. But that's the thing that I should have bet on is I should have bet on the crooked officiating for Coach K's last year. That was a big miss on my part. And next year I'll bet on the corruption more in my bracket. That was a big mistake. So I had tickets and I knew that if Coach K got to the championship game, it would be out of our budget to go attend. And so I was like, okay, well, I'm just going to buy them now and then I'll just sell them if the Jayhawks don't make it. And so I bought them early. I bought the flights and flights to New Orleans. That airport is tiny.
Really?
Oh yeah. I mean, the airport sucks. And like we took off the next day at 5 a.m. We flew out Central Standard Time and the airport was a zoo.
Really?
Yeah. And we got there at 4 in the morning.
I didn't
Central
know they
Time.
did flights at 5 a.m.
Yeah, apparently they do when you're a shit market. And so I like the flights to New Orleans were the worst. Everything about getting there was awful. And then we get there, and honestly, I've ever been to New Orleans?
No, tell me about it.
It's a dump.
Really?
I really dislike the city. Yeah,
I've heard a lot of people do like it though. Like a lot of different.
I'd imagine that was pre-Katrina.
No, I've heard it. I've heard it recently. Like a lot of different, like good food. People are really nice. They want to show off their city. And there's like good neighborhoods to go to that are very cute.
Well, it's not downtown.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You got to avoid
Yeah,
Bourbon Street. Bourbon Street's, I'm sure, trashy.
The whole thing was just like a dumpster. And
I mean,
I was
also like thousands and thousands of people coming to party. So it's going to be like a little.
Yeah. So I stayed in downtown and we walked to the stadium. And so we get there, we check in, we go, and it's awesome. I mean, the electricity in the whole city, is you got North Carolina fans, you have Kansas fans. And then my favorite group of people were the fans of teams that were not there that go to the Final Four every year wearing their home school jersey. I saw Oregon fans. I saw like Duke fans. I just saw like college basketball fans and Gonzaga fans. And I was like, you know what? Like I can really get behind you guys. You just want to see good basketball.
Yeah.
And so then we get to the game 2 hours early.
Why?
What were you going to do?
Yeah, something else to do.
Well, Fan Fest was boring. I mean, the whole place stinks of weed. And like, all right, let's go inside. So we go inside the stadium. We're sitting there, and this place is massive. It's a football stadium. You're watching basketball. It's really weird how they retrofit it. And then by the time the game starts, the energy was 50-50 in the arena. 50% Kansas fans, 50% North Carolina fans. And we were in the section that was more heavily North Carolina. And so early in the game, I mean, you have like Kansas jumped out to like a 10-2 run. Yeah. And then North Carolina came back and was up 15 at the half. And the intensity in the building, I've never experienced a basketball game where everyone cared so much about each shot, call, like everything. I mean, and me and the Carolina fans were kind of going at each other a little bit. Like they were like screaming. And then when KU was on a run, I'd kind of like clap in their face a little bit. And like, it was going back and forth. And then at halftime, we're down 15 and Kaylee turns to me and she goes, "You are the worst luck ever."
I gotta say though, I never lost faith. So they were
So
plus 7.5 at halftime. That was the easiest live bet.
yeah,
in my
that was the
life.
great bet.
Oh,
Like,
God.
and so I I told Kaylee, I'm like, Kaylee, it's 2 runs.
Yeah, really.
2 runs in their back.
And especially the way they play, they're so fast break heavy that they score
Yeah,
like
they
instantly.
rely on their defense and forcing turnovers and getting out in the
And
transition.
that's
Like,
what happened. North Carolina turned it over a bunch in a row, and they got back.
and I knew, I'm like, we're gonna get a good whistle in the second half because they're gonna want it to be a close game. So we're gonna get given back into the game, and that's what happened. I mean, there was a couple calls that were like super wrong that went KU's way, and a really big charge block miss that was an and one, and like that was, that's like that right there is a 3.6 point swing potentially, and so all those things, it was awesome, it was great, and then at the end when they won, there's like they missed the shot, and I was screaming for a foul. I mean, if there's 4 seconds left and you're up by 3 points, under no circumstances should a coach ever let the other team shoot the ball. Foul them, send them to the line with 2, so they cannot win. But I
know. Why don't they do that?
So Bill Self was afraid of their offensive rebounding, and they've been killing them on the offensive glass all game.
Oh,
and he thought they'd make
miss.
he thought they'd get the rebound.
The big guy was out of the game.
Yeah, he was, but I was screaming for a foul call to not let them shoot, and they got off like 4 threes. It was insane. They got off like 4 threes.
I know.
And they missed all of them. We just got so lucky. And then there was this moment of like, is it over? And then at that point, like you just go nuts. You're hugging people, you're screaming.
Nice.
And we sat there and watched them cut the nets. We went to Bourbon Street, and on Bourbon Street, they're singing the Jayhawk winning song. So they have this like rock chalk song that they sing when they win. And it was just, it was a magical sports experience. I've never in my life as a fan won a championship in any sport I've ever been a fan of.
I mean, Kaylee, congrats to you. Big win. Go Jayhawks.
No. I took them at the beginning of the season.
No, so
at the beginning of the season, we made a deal.
Your fandom did not win anything. You are still a loser for your entire life.
You're going to be that
no. You're getting zero credit for this win.
So, no. So this is what I said. I said that this was a great experience, and I also knew that if Arizona won, it would be a level above this of satisfaction. Much that better. I wouldn't. I've never as a fan even been to the Final Four, and college basketball is my sport. Like, it's the only sport where I have true fandom is U of A basketball. And so this season I said, you know what, Kaylee, we got to take each other's teams. They're both good. It gives us twice as many chances to win.
You had a rooting interest. That's what you had.
No, I had it's like a step fan. It's like it's a step down from your school, your team. I guess
it's just so annoying that you have 2 of the preeminent basketball programs.
Yeah, especially with the coaching that we have. Like Bill Self and Tommy Lloyd are 2 of the best coaches.
How many programs can win a title in NCAA tournament? 6, 7, like, can realistically win.
Yeah, and I got 2 of them.
Yeah, and you have 2 of them. I mean, your odds of winning, like, you're gonna win probably like 2 a decade.
We said we think we'd win 6 more in your life together. Yeah.
I think it's a little low.
14 was the last time. 14 years ago was the last time the Jayhawks won.
Yeah, it has been a while.
That's surprising. So the U of A doesn't win often, so I'd imagine maybe like 1 or 2 a decade.
Yeah,
is kind of what I was banking on. And so, we got one early. It was great. It was fun. And this team, I mean, Kaylee and I both said it. This team was an Elite 8 team. They were not that good in the regular season.
I was going to say, UNC plays Kansas 20 times. I bet UNC wins 13 or 14. UNC is a good team.
I'll tell you why Kansas is good. And they're good because of the level of discipline. They just don't make stupid decisions.
Yeah.
They don't take bad shots. They pass up the good shot for the better shot. They're just like an old school college basketball well-coached team.
Do you find it slightly funny that when I texted you in the second round about the little point guard on Kansas can't shoot, he makes like 3 step-back threes in a row at the end of the game, basically wins the game for Kansas?
That wasn't him.
That wasn't him.
That was someone else.
Just like the other guy.
That was an ASU transfer, unfortunately.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that guy won the game. Those shots were amazing.
And that guy was a bonehead all season.
Was he?
A total idiot. I mean, like the guy that won the game with the McCormack with the little hook shot that he won it on, and Remy Martin, the 2 best players in the game, sucked all season. They were just super seniors, 5th-year guys that like just when the lights are on and it's March, they're just completely different people.
Their supposed best player, his name starts with a U, right? Like long name.
Ochai Abaji.
Yeah, he's awful.
He played awful. So this is unfortunate. And this is the hard part about being a Jayhawk fan at times is the system is rigged towards you. and you are aware of that. And like, it's nice at times, but then at other times, it's like this guy won National Player of the Year probably. Like, and it's like he's not as good as he's marketed, but he is a great player.
Yeah.
But it's just unfortunate. And this was my issue with Michael, right? It's like he was marketed as better than he is, and this guy Ochai Agbaji is marketed as better than he is, and he's really good. I think he'll be a decent pro. I don't think he'll be a great
Love
pro.
on North Carolina is better than that guy easily.
I think the best player in North Carolina is the Manic, that guy with the long hair, the white guy.
Love is just incredible driving the basketball. You just can't stop him.
He's just too young. He'll be better when he's older.
Is he a freshman?
He's a sophomore. Yeah. You can tell he's a kid. Like he
looks like a kid.
Yeah, I mean, he'll be great in the NBA, but right now he's still got development to have. Yeah. So anyway, it was a great experience, and I texted AJ, so he'll be at the wedding. He's like one of my really good friends growing up, and we lived together our first year in college. And I told him, I said, when the U of A goes to the championship game, you and me, they're together.
Nice.
With our ladies.
That's sick.
That is what's going to happen. And we both have confirmation that whenever that happens, no matter what, I will be in that building. And I told Caleb, like, look, we're going to see losses. You know, you realize how hard it is to win this. Oh, yeah. There's 68 teams that are in there. Only one team wins. It's fool's gold thinking that you have a chance to win.
Like, you can probably guarantee that Kansas or Arizona will be in the Elite Eight pretty much every year.
Yeah.
But from there, it's just like,
yeah, totally just luck.
Luck of the draw.
And it's like, they won 5 in a row to get here. And it's like, there's a 50% chance they lose this game. Like, we're flying out here, we're paying this money. Like, it's like, geez, you know, it's brutal. It's brutally challenging. And I think that, you know, my level of confidence in the University of Arizona pre-tournament, I don't think I'll now that I understand, you know, the experience, I don't think I'll be able to feel that confident about any team ever. Yeah. The tournament is just too unpredictable.
So hard to win.
Yeah. It's like, you have a good team and you see what happens. Yeah. That's kind of what it is.
Well, congrats to Kaylee.
Yeah, congrats to Kaylee and George. I'm not getting you. I am taking championship pride in this, and so I find it funny that you make sure that I don't.
No, yeah.
I knew there was some asshole thing coming.
Yeah, you can't marry into a fandom like that if you already have your own team.
So
you want to do questions real quick?
I want to do a bracketology breakdown.
Okay.
So I think that after the first week. No, after with the Sweet 16, I was tied in first place in the bracket and the BDP bracket.
Oh, who won? Do you know?
I think it was the guy that picked Kansas. Okay. There was one guy that picked Kansas. He had to win. And then Final Four, I was in third and I ended up finishing third, tied third with Alex. So Alex and I both tied for third. And I want to say this. So a hint to anyone who is doing a bracket from this year forward. It's a money ball game. There's a percent chance. It's all statistics in the early rounds. In the late rounds, you're betting on teams that you think are going to do well in the tournament. So there's 2 different types of the bracket. I did really, really well in the Moneyball statistical analysis part. Naturally, that's in my strengths. And so I did not do Houston. Well. Yeah, so Houston was the gimme. That was the Sweet 16 team. My bias was an Arizona bias, so I picked Arizona obviously too much. I think that the one thing that I got screwed by was I picked Path too much. I leaned too much towards Path. So I picked Kentucky in the championship game, not because I thought they were good, but because I thought they had a cakewalk. And they screwed it up. And Carolina proved me wrong the opposite way, where they had I actually watched them against Cameron when they were in Duke, and I was like, they're a legitimate contender. Like, people don't understand how good this team is when I saw them beat Duke at Duke. Mm-hmm. And they were an 8 seed. They had to play Baylor, UCLA, and Kentucky.
I should have watched that game.
And I was like, there's just no way that this team is going to get out of all of this. So I picked UCLA because I thought they had the most straightforward path. And I picked Baylor losing early because I knew they played 2 good teams. And so, like, I thought I had the pathing philosophy right. I just bet on the wrong teams. So I'm going to do an analysis of my bracket, not share it on the show, but
take the next year, do a deep analysis of the bracket,
and then I'll come back next year and I'll win it.
You'll be ready next year to win.
I'm coming back with a vengeance, and I will not make the same mistakes twice. To only get one Final Four team correct is unacceptable.
It's unacceptable.
And so I will come back better next year, folks. I did what I said. I finished top 5 as I promised. However, I was not satisfied with the performance, and you'll see something better next year out of me.
That's called accountability, folks. Yeah. Take note. You know, he owns it, and he's going to be better.
So I did this twice now. Once with LeBron, I denounced, and I said, LeBron. I was wrong. This guy's just making money and scoring points. Like,
and scoring points, and he's trying to get the scoring title. You see that? He's going to play the last 2 games just so he can get the scoring title.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, but he wants his coach out. He wants to reset. I'm doubtful that he'll ever win again.
Oh, I hate hearing that. I really do. I mean, what a great guy, great teammate, best player in the NBA history potentially.
He is.
Potentially, yeah. It's really sad to see this career end like this, and I don't know what else to say.
I think he could surprise us, but it would be a surprise if he won. It would not be expected. He is. I mean, there are teams that are better, and his style, he would have to adapt too much to win at the way that the league is going. So anyway, that's what I got on basketball.
Let's do these questions.
Okay, so we got questions.
Yeah, we got 2.
Perfect.
Hey guys, looking forward to getting my Sunday fix in at the gym later today. I have a loaded question for you that will vary based on 2 different goals, so I'm hoping for 2 different answers. Goal number 1, to make it to billionaire status as fast as possible.
Jeez.
Easy one, pretty straightforward. Goal number 2, to create financial security and your version of a perfect lifestyle as fast as possible. If you were 21 again and had to satisfy goal number 1, which is billionaire, what career path would you take? And then after we answer that,
my gosh,
if you were 21 again and had to satisfy goal number 2, what career path would you take? Hopefully I didn't make that too confusing. So he's basically comparing,
this is a 21-year-old?
No, he's saying like if you could be 21 again and you had an outlandish goal to be a billionaire, or you had a goal to just be like financially free and perfect lifestyle, how would you go down each path?
So this is unfortunately a question right up my alley, and it's also the question that will rub a lot of people the wrong way when they hear my answer. And
well,
so
you were asked it, so
what?
You were asked it, so
I mean, I'm going to give my honest thoughts for any question I've ever asked. I don't give a shit what people think.
Good.
I mean, that's the unfortunate part. I just don't care.
Go for it. I'm excited
now. 2 things. I'll start with the second question first. What would you do over again if you were a kid?
Wait, it's for each goal though. So billionaire or perfect lifestyle and security.
Okay. So I think that so if I was, and this is what I'm trying to get our kids to do, you don't realize when you're a child, like if I'm 10, right? That means I got 12 years left before I'm of working age, right? 4 years of college, 22 is when you could begin working or you could go for more school. That's like kind of the inflection point. 12 years in a financial world is a long time to save up money.
Sure is.
Hey, if I'm 10 or I'm 7 or I'm 6, I'm thinking with the end in mind. And I want to say, I want to never have a job in my entire life.
That sounds good.
And I'm from 10, I'm going to grind to learn how to make money so that I can always never have a job. And this is the philosophy I'm attempting to take on with our children. I'm attempting to show them this path and see if any of them choose to take it. And I think that's an important parenting thing. Show them a path, let them choose. So the way that you have to do that, in my opinion, is being a trader. It's the most scalable form of wealth. So like you can't really become, it's hard to leverage your time for money past a point. There comes a point when no one wants to pay that much for your time for the amount of money that like you're going to outgrow that at some point. And so if someone truly wants to be a billionaire, you really have to think about money in a totally different way. It's not about how much money you make. It's about where you put your money. It's all about capital allocation at that level. So it's,
give me some examples of where would you put your money.
So to go from regular wealth to billionaire, you have to have a couple of 50 to 100x incidents in your life of wealth. So you need to put $1 in something and get 50 out or 100 out and put significant amounts of dollars in that thing. Right. And so you have to completely break all financial knowledge you have about anything you've been taught about wealth and retrain yourself on wealth for this income bracket. It's like, and it's not a 10-year goal. It's like a 30 or 40-year goal because you need enough compounding events to get to that level. But your mindset the whole time has to be a billionaire mindset. And one of my favorite things I've ever read about this type of stuff is from Robert Kiyosaki. And he was like, people think that wealth is an amount of money. And he's like, it's really a mindset about money. And you will get the wealth that your mind will allow.
Right.
And so if your mindset is that in thousands, you will have thousands. If your mindset is millions, you will have millions. And if your mindset is billions, you'll have billions. because the decisions you make with money will lead to each of those things, and all three are predictable, quite frankly.
Yeah.
I think that there's been enough people that have, I mean, billionaire is not even that rare anymore.
I mean, why don't you answer me this? What is the actual difference in your life versus 100 million, say, and 1 billion? Is there
So
anything really that different?
this is the point that we go perfect lifestyle now. Not really, right? And I think
Yeah.
that people, and this is the, so is this something I've thought about? Obviously, think about everything, right? But like, is this something I'm actively pursuing with my day-to-day emphasis? No, because it's like my life won't be any different with that many dollars in my bank account than,
I mean, one of the
the
differences, like
alternative.
you could probably own a private jet, you probably own a sports team potentially. Like those kind of like weird possibilities you have at a billion versus not at 100 billion. It's so like who honestly really cares at the end of the day if like you don't have those opportunities.
And so this is where I've actually, I think that it's an important, if you're going to attempt to reach this, then you need to detach from it before you go for
And
it.
you better have a pretty strong why.
Yeah, because like if you do this, it's going to completely change everything about your life.
Yeah.
You're not going to be able to interact casually with people anymore because like $1 million will change their life, and you have that so readily available that like people will never be able to be authentic with you again.
That
And
sounds fun.
I mean, that does it. Like, and that's where watching The Last Dance really changed a lot of my ideas about this. Because Michael Jordan, like his last year on the Bulls, before he did his first retirement, he had to sit in a hotel room all day because he couldn't go outside.
Yeah.
Because people
sucks.
are too crazy about him.
Mhm.
Like, you incarcerate yourself in wealth.
You can only go to certain places that are
Yeah.
guarded, like
Like,
private everything.
Yeah, it's just such a crazy thing. And that's where I'm like, all right, George Hariri will be a dentist in dental forever. And anything past that, you will have no clue that it's me. And it's like, that's the way you have to do it. And that's the great
Because
thing about
stay anonymous, like
Web3.
last
Stay
time.
anonymous.
Yeah.
Then no one knows you have that much money, and no one knows how much money you
Because there are
have.
plenty of anonymous billionaires, I would imagine.
Yeah, and it's like, right now in my life, I'm no position to even be like flirting with this conversation, but I'm about to be 29, and there's a lot of compounds in my life, and with a lot of the research on longevity, like I do anticipate living beyond 100, and that's a lot of doublings, right?
Mhm.
If you double every 7 years, so the rule of 72 is whatever interest rate you have, divide that by 72, whatever like rate of growth, and that's how many years it takes to double. And it's like, if you're getting 20% on your money year over year, then like, you're doubling every like 3.5 years. That's a lot of doubling events. And so I think that it has to be done with a goal in mind the whole time. And I'll use an example of Mark Cuban. So Mark Cuban, he got $5 billion from his sale of his company. And the reported net worth, and by the way, guys, anytime you see a reported net worth, it's almost always wrong.
Yeah.
It's
It's lower.
it's
than
always
it is.
lower than
Yeah,
it actually
of course.
is. They always underreport someone's net worth.
Yeah.
But Cuban didn't, from everything I know, didn't allocate his capital in high growth areas. He allocated them in safe areas. And so there's going to be a point of wealth where the individual will choose to maintain their current level of wealth versus pushing to the logarithmic next level. And the billionaire is the person that will relentlessly push to the next logarithmic level of wealth through those high multiplying events that are of high risk. And the challenge is, can the billionaire invest in high risk things without losing money by avoiding the zeros? If you can invest in the high risk 50 to hundreds without getting the zeros, then you'll probably make it. And
Yeah, but you probably can never get a 50 or 100 to 1 without going through some zeros. Like
yeah, correct.
like I said about a venture capital firm, they only need, the 1 or 2 100x to make up for a slew of companies that didn't go anywhere.
Yeah, I think the VC. So we talk about like dental industry standard a lot in our shared practice company. The VC industry standard I find to be remarkably unacceptable. I mean, the number of times they go to zero with a company,
It's all the time.
like, I mean, that shouldn't be that normal. But it doesn't matter, because when one goes up 50x, it's like the other 7 that you lost, you're not so concerned about it.
No, you don't care at all.
And so it's really a strategic and repeated investment in high growth vehicles with diversification and the stomach lining like you would never believe. And I would say that that would be the way. But I think that if you're trying to do something that requires becoming a billionaire through people, like growing a people business, pick the right people business
Yeah.
that doesn't require that many people to get to that size. And I think that that's, what we've been learning is the majority of our stress comes from the people we interact with on a daily basis in the roles that we, in our company. And so I think Warren Buffett did it the best way, just moving money around in the market.
I mean, I don't know. Like,
you're essentially taking money from other people.
If you're just moving money around, like what are you creating for society? Are you leaving it better than you found it? Like, are you building something?
Well, that wasn't the question. The question was being a billionaire.
So this is my judgment of that path. It's just like, what are you actually doing for the world?
Nothing.
Nothing.
You're just better at. You're just taking advantage of being smarter than other people.
So yeah, I found that.
You find that abrasive?
I find that abrasive. It's not like a bad thing. It's just like you didn't impact the world at all.
So can I tell you an amazing? This is like one of my favorite stories. I have a deep dive on the Imitation Game. Have you watched the movie?
Yeah.
So he has this line in there where he goes, and like no one understands this joke, but I find it absolutely hilarious. He was like, there are two men, and there's a bear, and one guy starts lacing up his shoes, and he's like, "What are you doing? You're not going to outrun the bear." And he's like, I don't have to outrun the bear. I've got to outrun you.
Yeah, that's good.
And it's like, you don't have to be the smartest person in the world to be a billionaire. You should be smarter than most of the people so that you can exploit their emotional decisions in the market and all of those things. And you know what I mean?
Yep.
And I think that it's twofold. So you have to create in your career enough wealth to get you a platform to invest in. And then you have to take that platform and grow it exponentially through objectively risky yet very sound decision making that other people can't understand.
Let's talk about goal 2, because I think that's more appropriate for both of us and probably most people listening.
Yeah.
Creating financial security and version of perfect lifestyle as fast as possible. And I think both of us have been on this path for a while now.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to hear your thoughts on how you've created it in your life, how people can create it in their lives, and then I'll give my input.
So I think that, if you think about my life up until COVID, I always had a 9-to-5 busyness, right? Like I always had something occupying my time for 40 hours a week. And then COVID happened and, I got to experience nothing. And I realized, I think I just asked myself the question of what's the purpose? Like, why am I attempting to make money? And it's like, well, there's my living standards and then there's my happiness. And then you read these studies and you're like, well, $280,000 a year is kind of like that number where after that, it's all kind of the same. And you're like,
which I disagree with, but continue.
I mean, I think it's just like, if you're happy and you know how to have money bring you joy, then you'll just get more of that. Right. And I think that's a skill. People that know how to make happiness out of money. But I was like, okay, so then I kind of like this COVID lifestyle a little bit better. And so then I went there and I did that. And I hired a full-time dentist, replaced myself, and left clinically. And I didn't really have a plan. And I think that my lack of a plan was something that I wish I would go back and do over again and have more of a plan because, it led to a lot of stressful moments and all of those things financially. Because then once you make that commitment to not work, then the fear of having to go back to work is something you dread. You're like, if this doesn't work, I got to go back up and pick up the handpiece. I don't really want to do that. And this is,
dealing with that same kind of scenario coming up.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. Right. And it's like, that's a real thing. And so it's like, I think that my advice for that person is measure twice, cut once. It's something that I've learned to live by now. And it's that same thing of just make sure that if you're going to do this, that you're sure that it's the right thing and that, you can make it. But yeah, I think the world post-COVID, there's going to be a lot of people that did the same thing we did, which is realized a lot of things given the space that COVID has created for people and, a virtual environment where you have a lot more freedom of movement.
This is the reason there's tens of millions of jobs available that aren't being filled because
no one wants to be stuck to a location.
Do it. Yeah. And I had the same inflection point as you with COVID, finding out that I just enjoyed being home more. And then it was up until maybe 6 months after that every decision I've made in my career has been a relentless pursuit of, control and freedom over my work time. Like
and the sacrifice you make is money.
And sacrifice in the short term has been money. And it's so liberating. There is nothing I have to do that's like, you have to do this at this time. I get to choose to do all this stuff, and that is priceless for me. I would pay anything for that.
Yeah, and I think that's the and it's funny because I think the perception out there is that we make more money than we do. Yeah. Because we have a lot of knowledge on how to make money. But I think the thing that we both value most is our time. And time on, like that's our most scarce resource. And how many times do you hear people say, yeah, that person's got more money than they know what to do with?
All the time.
Yeah. And it's like that person who has more money than they know what to do with is so concerned about their money and is so concerned about making more money. And it's like, my investing philosophy has changed to, I'm going to invest the money that I don't know what to do with. And I'm going to live an experience with the money that I have. And like, for me, that's going to sports games, that's traveling, that's doing things that I enjoy. I don't spend money on things, that's like kind of my thing. Minimalist with money so that I can spend it on things that I won't forget. And it's been fun. And I think that, every time you and I have made that trade of happiness first, we've never regretted it. I mean, who regrets? Like, imagine sitting on your deathbed and being like, man, I have like this amount of money that's going to be inherited by people. I wish it was twice as much, and I like traded all the fun that I had. like who's going to say that?
No one. And yeah, I mean, the business we are building is with the prerequisite of our time is not tied down for certain hours. Like every decision we've made, from us to stopping coaching to bring on a coaching department to even bundling our practices and doing the DSO, like that has been designed so we have that freedom. And that's caused, as George said, we don't make as much money as you think we do in the short term. We're betting our potential in the longer term to grow something big, but it's totally worth it.
Yeah, I mean, we're just making a long-term bet on ourselves that over time it'll pay off. And we'll see what happens. But I think that win, lose, or draw, I certainly am enjoying this experience a lot more than the alternative. So I really don't care what actually happens.
And I love working from home. It's just
so you've now fallen in love with it, right?
I liked it originally when I did it in New York, and then I fell out of love with it. And then since I moved here, I've really liked it even more than the first time.
Isn't there something to be said about being at home on a day with great weather, and you look outside and it's like blue and bright, and like you could just leave to go on a walk.
Yes.
You can come back.
Yes.
And like I put the golf net in the backyard now.
I saw that.
Yeah. And so I had no idea, but my 3-year-old is obsessed with golf.
Hell yeah.
And I mean, he plays every day, multiple times per day, and he's always asking me to play golf.
All right, we got a future McElroy in the family.
I mean,
here.
This guy is awesome with his passion for golf. And it's like our 6-year-old's got this passion for basketball. Our 10-year-old's got our 11-year-old now soccer.
We got all of them covered.
Yeah, yeah. So the 3 of the guys really like one sport a lot, and the other, Gerard, he's 5, and he's a big video game guy. So like they all kind of got their like rabbit hole passion, which was important for me to make sure that there's something that they just love. And so I've been outside a lot, hitting balls in the golf net, and thinking about Matt Ford and.
Matt Ford, who that little fuck is at the Masters on Friday today when we're recording.
He's at the Masters right now.
He's at the Masters, like unbelievable. It's just text from his friend like 2 days ago. Hey, I got an extra ticket. I've been trying to go to this damn tournament since I was a kid.
How do you get in? You have to know someone.
You got to do the lottery.
The lottery.
One way you could do it, or you could pay outlandish amounts to buy them, secondhand.
What are outlandish amounts?
Probably like $3,000
for a day.
Yeah. Don't quote me on that. I didn't look it up, but that's probably what it is around. I mean, Tiger's in it, so it's like might be inflated.
Yeah, the Tiger's in it. It's going to be much higher. But I think that like post Tiger's career, I imagine there's going to be great putt.
Yeah, more cow.
We're watching the golf, so I'll say something about
Tiger tees off in 7 minutes, guys.
Yeah, so it's been enjoyable, and so working from home. You initially came to the HQ a lot. Do you not come to the HQ as much anymore?
Don't come at all. No, because like I got a much better setup at home. I got a huge monitor. I got all my little things like. I got my right headphone. I got my mic. I have fully loaded.
So I had no idea that I was an organized person. And organized isn't the right word. Kaylee'd probably like just kill me if she heard me say that. But like it was I am particular about certain things. And of those things, the home office is one of them. And we have home office rules, and I'm quickly sending kids out if they don't follow the home office rules.
Okay.
And I've got a TV, I've got my monitor, I've got you know, our 11-year-old's got his setup in there with a big TV and like computer games. We got a gaming station. So it's been a lot of fun. And I really do enjoy working from home. So yeah, I think that would be like an ideal lifestyle. And I think a lifestyle where, you know, I think there's just, you know, every time I've traded, and I've traded, you know, my financial security versus what I want to be doing. I haven't particularly enjoyed that very much. It's I've been too aware of the fact that I'm doing it when I'm doing it.
Yeah,
and
there's a baseline level of security that I don't think either of us are comfortable ever giving up.
Yeah.
again in pursuit of something. That
Yeah.
thing would just.
I will go back and do whatever it takes to, you know, make a certain amount. But past that, I'd rather just be happy.
We got one more question.
Perfect.
This one's for me. Question
This is from you?
for me.
Oh, okay.
Question for Matt. Can you talk a bit about what it was like selling Maple Hill Dentistry and what you've been up to since? So I haven't sold it as of now, as a recording on April 8th. What I've been up to since, I just my position's a lot of setting things up, a lot of like, you know, our deal with City, or, you know, we're building a new department in SP, hiring, training, setting up for that. Just like right now, I'm in the closing with City, getting 1 million documents. We're getting our financials audited. That's another 1 million documents. Like I'm just moving PDFs around. That's what I do all day now. But like,
this isn't false.
it sounds basic, but like it takes so much organization and like brain power to like.
You're the perfect person for this job.
Yeah, it does suit me. And you know, I wake up now, I'm so excited to start working.
That's awesome.
For the past week, like it's just been like I'm up at 5:30, like, all right, ready to go, let's do it. I've only ever had this once else in SP, and that was when we were kicking around our other bigger idea.
Oh,
yeah,
is it dental school?
The dental school.
Yeah,
that got me really, for some reason, that really got me fired up, and I was doing the same thing, and it hasn't returned until now.
I think universities, we have a soft spot for universities, all of us, because so I have my own journal. So I keep a journal now.
Oh, cool.
It's kind of something I've started doing. And my journal, I dedicate it to all of my teachers. And it's
that's so sweet, George.
And it's like the thing I value most is what I know. And you know, it's like I just have a soft spot for universities where they educate people. You know, it's just like
if I were you, I would dedicate it to all my teachers, except for that guy in Arizona who taught the Excel course who gave me a B.
So that guy, yeah, that's actually, you know, the sick part is him and me and his kid were like
friends,
really good friends. I knew him as a kid. I went to his house all the time in middle school. Like, that's the fucker that gave me my only B ever. Like, the dude I knew like personally as a child. Like, seriously, like there's no sympathy for. I sent them an email like, dude, this is my only B in my life. Like, I made it my goal to get a 4.0. Like, this is an Excel class. I downloaded the wrong file. Like, seriously, I got a 0 on a project. Like, I still would have passed. I got an A. But this is an auto deduct of a letter score because of that stupid mix up. Like, oh my gosh, I was pissed. Still mad, clearly. But anyway.
All right, that's it for questions. BDPpod.com for more questions.
BDPpod.com for questions. So we talked Tiger at the Masters. Let's see what else I got on my list. So Alex, he sent in a revision with so I like to, you know, the partners that send us stuff that, you know, they don't agree with, I'm gonna air their grievances. So Alex did not like us talking about Google in a nice light. That he did not enjoy. I think Alex would have preferred that we had talked about the creepy information keeping and, like, you know, a lot of the big data stuff, Big Brother part of Google's culture.
So is there a corporation on the S&P 500 that we can talk about?
Happily?
Yeah, happily.
Like, great company?
Yeah, great company. I love Tesla personally.
Oh,
I'm
actually, you know what?
Owner?
You know what? You know what? I will get over the fact that they got a lot of help.
Oh, yeah.
That they might not have deserved to get to the size that they have. So that's my first gripe with Tesla.
Okay.
My second gripe with Tesla is that they have like the biggest advantage ever because they're the most overly inflated company. Like, Elon can just transfer Tesla stock to Twitter stock like he just did. Now he's the largest shareholder of Twitter and sits on the board.
I can't wait to see what he does.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what he does because this guy, the thing I love about Elon is all about Elon and does not care what anyone else does. And he he said he actually has the same critique of Warren Buffett that you do. He's like, the dude didn't make the world a better place. He just moved money around. He's like, I'm not interested in anything other than making the world a better place.
Yeah, I would argue he is the most important person living in America currently.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. That's awesome. All right. Elon.
And he's not even American.
So, okay. Alex, we have Elon Musk fandom on this show now because we want someone who's noble. And Elon Musk, say nothing else about him, but he is about a man of his principles.
He's a man of principles.
He's a man of his principles. I like that. I like when somebody doesn't live by other people's principles. They live by their own.
There's a lot of overlap with his principles and my principles.
Well, yeah, because we're all the same type of
free
person.
Speech, freedom,
Yeah.
He's the best.
So
he's going to bring us to do you want to go to space one day in your life? I do.
So here's my thoughts on this. I will not do anything that has a high likelihood of death.
Okay.
So no skydiving, no none of that stuff until I see the statistics on it and feel confident in the likelihood of death being low enough that it's worth the experience.
What a rational take. Now, if some people had this take, about the vaccines, how they wanted to see how they performed and maybe get more data before they were coerced into having them, wouldn't it be a smarter decision for a lot of people?
Yeah,
interesting.
Very
interesting. I don't have an IDI this week. I will have one next week.
Okay, no IDI this week.
No,
I think it's good that we keep it light.
I've been moving PDFs around left and right.
So we got another exception from Matt Ford. So Matt Ford is #triggered every time I talk about athletics. Anytime I talk about myself doing athletics, and that's the problem because I'm 5'9", I'm scrawny, I'm small, and I talk about athletics in a way that I'm not intimidated, And so I think Matt Ford is 6'6", and college athlete, and he takes exception to some of the things I say. And so Matt Ford, I have something for you. So Matt Ford was talking about my exception to saying I would like to be D3 fluent in 3 sports. Mm-hmm. And I think that one thing Matt Ford, in my opinion, so I just told him, I straight up wasn't going to argue with him. I said, we are not aligned on athletics. We are just not. And I think that the area I come in at it from is I come at it from if somebody is able to have complete control over their mind during an athletic competition, they are capable of much more than people realize. Okay. That's all I say.
Yeah. He thinks your capability is less than what you think.
Yeah. And I enjoy that because that further motivates me. So, I mean, you don't think I've been swinging thinking about Matt Ford? I mean, are you out of your mind? I'm with my 3-year-old and whoever else wants to play in the backyard multiple times per day, hitting some leisurely shots at the net, and I'm visualizing holes.
Matt Ford's head with his long ass neck just whack.
No. I never hit people when I play golf, but I visualize holes. And I use the motivation behind people telling me I can't do something to really lock in and focus to a level that I'd never have. So, I mean, I'll be honest, Matt Ford. I want to beat you in golf one day now. Oh, yeah. That for me is it's like my championship. I mean, if I don't have a championship until I beat Matt Ford in golf.
If you don't think my long-term goals are to beat both first Matt Ford and second, this will shock you, Dylan at golf, my golf coach, Dylan, who is golfed in college in Arizona. He's amazing.
He's under par.
Yeah, he shoot. He'll shoot like 73, 74 sometimes. If you don't think my goal is to beat them at golf one time, you're out of your mind.
Yeah. So this is I was I sat there and the Jayhawks won, and I was like, wow, I understand why this is so exciting because there's such a low probability of this event happening, and when it happens, you're over the moon. And I was like, my championship at this point is a head-to-head against Matt Ford where I beat him.
Yes. Me too.
So Matt Ford, I'm sorry. You've said too many things about my inability to accomplish athletic goals. You are the person that I think about every time I do something athletically now. I am sorry. This is done. I've had it. You are first, second, and third on my list.
George, I gotta say, I'm rooting for you on this one. No, I really am. I'm being serious.
Well, yeah, because you and I are the same skill level. So if I can do it, that means you can do it.
I have a declaration here. I go back to New York on May 29th. I drive out. Before then, I will shoot in the 70s.
Oh, really?
So I shot an 83 round last week, and then I played again, and it was morning time. I wasn't warmed up, so my first time was bad. Second nine, 38. I'm getting there. I can overpower these golf courses now.
Oh, really? You can?
Yes.
See, that's not my strategy. My strategy is to over precision them.
I'm going to overpower a course, and I'm going to shoot in the 70s in the next month and a half.
So we were on vacation and we were playing cornhole. And I've never played cornhole.
Really?
Like, can count on one hand the number of times I played this
great game.
And Kaylee talked shit right before we played. And she's super competitive. And so she was like, she played a lot of cornhole. You know, she's from Kansas and lived in Dallas. You know, there's a lot of cornhole over there. And I'm like, oh, okay, done. And I landed that fucking bag in the middle of that thing every single time. I was stacking those things on top of each other because my strategy was simple. I aim at the middle of the board to allow the most dispersion to score points, and I'll accidentally get 3 points when I get it. I would just think miss long, so I could miss in the 3-point shot. And
that game's all about making it in the hole. Like,
so if depends who you're playing.
Right,
you got to look at your opponent.
Yeah, if your opponent's bad,
if your opponent's bad, then you just get it on the board. Sure. That's what I was doing. She was bad, so I just got on the board.
Yeah.
And actually, she was good. It's just it was her playing partner, and it's something else.
If you're just trying to get on the board, cornhole is one of the easiest games in the world. It's almost hard to miss, I think.
So I'm gonna end with a funny story, and this was so I don't talk about Kaylee a ton on the show, but she has a hot-headed personality at times. So like I always tell her if she was a dentist, she'd be the one that drive away staff because she's abrasive at times.
We know a couple of those.
And so it's funny. So she goes to Dunkin' Donuts, and I like when these things happen because like she gets so mad and she causes such a scene in the store.
Oh, I love this. It's right up my alley.
And so she orders. This is Bentley's birthday, so our oldest turned 11, and she ordered 3 dozen donuts. 1 dozen for the house. We do donuts at breakfast on birthdays, and then 2 for school. And
First of all, shocking decision to go to Dunkin' Donuts to get donuts. Donuts suck.
Well, we're never going again.
Thank you.
I'll tell you after the story.
There's a lot of good donuts.
Kaylee made me a promise. I'm never going to Dunkin' Donuts ever again.
go to Rainbow Donuts.
So
delicious.
She orders them online. She orders 3 dozen donuts online. She goes, she gets an email saying your donuts are ready. So she leaves and goes to get the donuts. She gets there, and the lady says that they are not allowed to give her 3 dozen donuts. That is too many donuts for one person, one customer.
What are you talking about?
To order.
I could get as many donuts as I want.
No. They have a 1 dozen of assorted of their least popular flavors only limit.
I'm sorry. Do you not want to sell your inventory? What kind of business is this?
So they said that because of the fact that they don't want to run out of donuts later, they will not sell donuts to customers who want them now.
The goal is to sell the donuts. They're right there. I'm looking at them. Give me the donuts. I'm trying to pay you.
Make more.
Yeah,
make the proper amount. I'm sure you have statistics on how many of each flavor people eat.
They have a million statistics.
Like you have a practice management software type thing. You have like a little resource management thing.
Wait. Tiger's driving. Hole 1. He's looking at it. This doesn't look good.
No, he's begging it. It's fine.
Where is it?
All right. So then, so Kaylee talks to their manager. So then they said, we'll give you a refund in 7 to 10 days. And then Kaylee said, I am not leaving this store without my donuts or my money. She goes, pick, but I'm not leaving until one of those 2 things happen. And she's like, I'm seeing all of the donuts I ordered right there. She's like, they're there. Just give me them. And they're like, we will not give you. Because it goes, what if someone else wants donuts? And she's like, then you ran out.
Yeah,
and she's like, I'm here early. It's like 7 o'clock in the morning. Like, give me it was like 6:30 a.m. She's in the donut place and she's just irate. And
which one did they give her?
So she then calls Krispy Kremes. They have a 4 dozen limit per person.
Okay, I mean that's a lot.
That was reasonable. So she went to Krispy Kremes and got 3 dozen donuts and came home, and the manager refunded her money.
Good.
And she was like, you have to promise me you will never go to Dunkin' Donuts ever again. And the part that got her mad was the email that they said her order was ready to pick up.
Yeah.
She's like, I should have just walked in, grabbed it, and walked out. She's like, if you can't do it, call me.
Right.
Like, tell me. Don't make me go in there.
Waste my time on this birthday day. How do you think I want to spend my birthday?
Birthday boy was there with her, and he was like, "Mom, it's okay. Just don't worry about it." And he was trying to get out of there, and she was like, "No. I'm staying here and getting this resolved."
Yes.
And it's funny, because we are both equally abrasive, and my mother-in-law, she goes, "You guys bring out the worst in each other because we both enhance this type of quality in each other."
Yeah, you're probably laughing when she's telling me the story.
We thought this. I thought this was hilarious, and I loved it. And I was like, I love this. Yeah, this is the person I'm choosing to marry. Like
yeah,
somebody
I'm
who is
100% on her side. This is ridiculous. Dunkin' Donuts. I will not be going there either ever again. Or would I have? Anyways.
So I was gonna make that the ad, but it just didn't work with the Masters coming on, and so
they have shit coffee too, except for their cold brew is actually pretty good. But
so yeah, Krispy Kreme guys, holler at them. You got a 4 dozen limit there. It's easy. I mean, but like, do you think the CFO or the CEO of Dunkin' Donuts is supporting that behavior? No, it's just like business stupidity. Like, why would I not take the money available over the potential money? Like, what if they don't sell those donuts that they didn't give to the customer who wanted them? Like, they're just gonna throw them away. Like, this is the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
This is on a much smaller scale, but there's been a couple times where Richard has messaged me and been like, this person asked about, coaching or like the mastermind. Like, are we still like selling that or something like that? Remember those messages?
Yeah.
I'm like, are you kidding me?
We're always selling it.
We're always selling it. It was much more benign, but it was really funny when I said,
like, we will always accept business when given, when offered.
Yes.
Yeah, as a business, you should have the mentality of thankful to the customer who will support your business. Not, we will not give you what you want because at 3 p.m. somebody might want stale donuts.
There was a similar scenario with Ellen. She got a massage from this guy, showed up a little late, so the guy got pissy. He's the owner of the place, and he's like, kind of guilt tripping her about being 2 minutes late. And he's like, normally
just cut her massage short.
Yeah, and he's like, normally I don't schedule massages out less than 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks. So I did an exception here. Like, fucking shut up, buddy. All right.
Yeah.
Like, I paid you to do a massage. You booked the massage. It's not I don't care what your policy is. That's a shit policy, anyways.
And it's funny because, like, this is where they need to handle, like, so Ellen uses the term completion and incompletion. Like, he's clearly incomplete he's like not resolved about the fact that, like,
choice
about whatever is going on. And he's just going to like throw it at the customer and let them deal with the mess that he just gave
them. And now
them.
she's like not going to go back. And this guy does great massages. So like, that matters.
Yeah. I mean, for business owners out there, like, the customer isn't always right. I think have your teams back first, but don't be reasonable.
Yeah.
Like, these unreasonable policies at these businesses, we need to air them out and just get these customers to stop. Just stop going there.
Stop going there. Tiger, did he put it in the bunker?
Tiger's in a fairway bunker off of 1. All right, I think this is time to end it.
Wait, no. We have to show a second shot, right?
Oh, we're gonna talk. We're gonna commentate golf.
Yeah. So 278-yard drive, not bad. Oh, he's deep in that bunker. Man, that's got a high lip.
High lip. He has to hit a short club.
All right. Scale of 1 to 10. How good does he look right now?
What do you mean? Like, how good is dress?
Like he just looks,
dude.
Slick.
I've never once wanted to ever. So I will say this, Gerard, our son that doesn't love sports, I would love for him to be an athlete one day because he would wear the goofiest stuff. Yeah. He would wear like Mario outfit on the golf course. Like, he's that kind of guy.
He's like a Ricky Fowler.
Yeah, he's a Ricky Fowler type personality. Yeah. And like, if I was a golfer, I would dress in the most ludicrous looking outfit to just distract my playing opponent because I know that I have the mental toughness to not let it affect my game.
Yeah, I'm kind of on the fence about this because I love like the classic look. But
then you don't want to be looking good. You want to be looking ridiculous. Distract people.
Maybe.
Golf's a game of mental toughness.
I went to the Belmont horse race a few years ago with friends. And like, I was just like, everyone wears like preppy stuff. They're all like coming in from Manhattan and they're wearing like, ties and garbage like that. I was like, let's all wear Hawaiian shirts just to like be the fun guys and like the goofballs. It killed. We got so much attention. Like, everyone loved it.
I love your going out shirt. Matt has this going out shirt. It's the same. It's this blue like base shirt with all these different colors and it's a button down long sleeve and it looks fire. And he goes out every time with I'm like, this is the Matt going out shirt. I've been out with him many times with this shirt. It's a great shirt.
Yeah. So like I probably would fall in that range. All right, he's about to hit here. He looks
all right.
good.
So he's hitting out the bunker. Oh, that's a huge bunker. He can hit a regular shot. Yeah, he's gonna end up on the green.
He's been
here.
Coming up short a lot on yesterday when he played. I don't love that so much. Get it there, Tiger. Give it a chance.
145 yards. This is a straightforward bunker shot.
Yeah.
The lip is very far away.
They said
it's totally fine.
It's a standing 20-mile-an-hour wind. It's going to be carnage, they said.
Oh, really?
With 30-mile-an-hour gusts.
That's huge advantage to mentally tough players.
Tiger. I know.
Yeah, I mean, if you got a guy who's playing on a almost amputated leg. I mean, like, there's no one tougher in the tournament. Like, give us the conditions. Give us the chaos.
If you make like par a good score, that is so advantage Tiger. Like, if he has to make a ton of birdies, then he's
if the ton of birdies is going to be. That's the thing. So in golf, I like the tournaments that like are so hard of conditions. The greens roll off. Like, everyone gets frustrated because I want that player that's not going to get deterred by the insanity. Great shot.
Okay, looks
good. Right there. Cool.
All right.
Back of the green. Safe spot. Where's the pin?
Where's the pin? I'm sure it's way over to the other side. Yep.
Yep. Kept it safe. He's going to have a straightforward chip.
All right.
That's a very safe shot.
That's a safe shot, but we're grinding for par. It's going to be a grind today, fellas. All
yeah.
right.
This is, if you play golf correctly, it should be a grind.
Yeah.
Golf is a grind game. It is not a, so courtesy of Matt Ford, I'm reading Raymond Floyd's book about how to score in golf. And this was a player that like just superseded his talent level beyond belief. And he said, he's like, Hogan, one of the best ball strikers ever, would say that he hit 3 shots as he intended to each round on average. So 3 shots came out perfect. The rest, there was something wrong with them.
3 like full swings.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not like chips.
No, he's saying 3 like full swing shots, like from the fairway or from off the tee.
Right.
You know, like 3 full swing strikes went the way he intended. And the rest, I mean, think of like golf is such a, like if you think of golf from a strictly analytical standpoint, let's like remove the sport of it. I have somebody swinging a flat, I have to make contact with the ball at 100 degrees, 100 miles an hour, at a perfectly 0 degrees or like 3 degrees open with an outward path to get the ball to go straight. Like you realize the difficulty of that, of having a professional swing, and every time it's the like a half of a degree off is going to lead to a dispersion that is not what they intended. That is the challenge of golf is, can I have my face be at exactly the same position at the moment? It's an instant that it hits the ball every time. There's only an instant in the swing that actually matters.
That's why I like the Masters, because I watch like full rounds of Tiger or someone else, and I can see how many bad shots they hit all the time.
Yeah.
Tiger hit a drive yesterday, 205 yards right into the trees. 205 driver.
So in the book I was reading, they go through the statistics of like tour players and putts. And I think there's like the amount of players that miss 6-foot putts.
They suck at putting,
yeah. Like it's like they miss like this golf. If you watch the best players shooting their best shots, you get such a flawed view of golf.
That's why I don't like, it's like normal tournaments you'll watch on Sunday. You're watching the leaders who are playing really, really well that day, and all you see are good shots. And you're like, it makes you think there's so, I mean, they are really good, but it makes you think they're so much better than they are.
So this is where, you know, I'm with, you know, the Matt Ford argument, all the funny that we've been having about it, but like, you know, I just know as a person, I'm capable of repeating emotion consistently over and over and over again. That is one thing I feel like I have that skill down. Like Matt, you know, you see me with like my little half shots that I hit, like 2 yardages. Once you make golf about math and physics and geometry and mental toughness, it's like way more up my alley than the physical part. And so I just decided to just make the game entirely in my strengths and just avoid my weaknesses entirely and just play around them. Yeah. And, you know, that's what Tiger's going to have to do. He doesn't have distance.
Yeah, he is driving at like 285.
Yeah, that like you have Bryson driving the ball like.
But this is why he wins at the Masters, because
only at the Masters.
Only at the Masters, because driving is not important. Like you can spray it at the Masters. It's all iron shots and missing in the right spots and like precision iron, because the landing areas are so tiny. If you want to birdie a hole, landing area is super small.
Well, and putting is so important at the Masters because those greens are so hard to read. Like they break in ways that you don't think they do. And so someone who's played that course time and time and time and time again has such an advantage. And there's no one in the field that knows that course better.
That's why 17 out of the last 19 Masters winners were over, I think, 27 years old, meaning they have most likely played it a bunch.
Yeah, you have to play that course a lot. And I remember the year that Tiger won, Xander Schauffele finished, I think, second, right? Second or third. Brooks and him were like right there.
Yeah, Xander's
and he was like, you know what I got this week? He in his post game, he was like, I know I can win here now. Like, and he's like, every year, I'm just going to come here knowing I'm capable of victory. And he's like, I've never had that feeling on this course before because it's so like, finicky. Yeah. It's such a fickle course. Like, it's really hard. It's just so tricky.
And it changes day to day. Like, they played on Monday, apparently it was super firm and fast. Then it rained a ton, got really soft. And then now it's back to fast, but it's also gusting and it's cold. So, like, they've seen like 3 or 4 versions of a course in their week of being there. So hard to prepare for.
And the hardest part is if you're a player, you're down underneath the trees. And you hit your ball above the trees. Right. And the wind current is different where you are and where it is above the trees. And so you have to know the conversion between what I'm feeling on the ground and what's happening in the air, because that's what's going to affect my ball.
This is why on 12 they all hit it in the
the water. Yeah,
they
because they
can't
don't know the wind above the trees.
Like Tony Finau is just a guarantee that ball's in the water every time. Happened again yesterday. Like he just can't figure out that hole.
Really?
Remember he was in contention.
Yeah, he was him and Frankie Molinari, and then two other guys.
And he hit it in the water on that one.
Yeah,
Tiger chip. Don't come up short. Get it there. Oh man, look at the break on that.
No, this is up his alley.
Can you move the camera so we can see the thing? Oh, he hit it really long.
He hit it long?
What camera work is this?
Where is the ball?
I can't even tell. It looked like it was like, okay, we have to wait for the putt. Then we'll close the episode. I have to see him drill his putt. Confident going into today. I'm going to be watching every shot today on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
I think he's going to have an encouraging showing that won't transfer to and many other courses. And I mean, a player can't win majors, but shooting 280 yards off the tee consistently.
Yeah, not major.
Unless it's a course built for that. It has to be the right course.
Yeah, it has to be here or
he's gonna, and he knows he's gonna pick his events wisely. He's not gonna play in stuff that he can't contend.
He's only playing in majors this year, is my prediction. I don't think he'll play in any other tournament.
Yeah, but is he gonna play in every major?
Maybe.
If there's a major that just the course is like a Bethpage Black or like one of those courses that like you just know he has no shot.
Where are the majors this year?
No, that's like a 12-foot. Yeah, that's too long of a putt. That's low probability of going in.
No, Tiger's gonna drill this one.
I mean, if he does it, it's just luck.
Let's go.
Luck and skill
all day. That's a lot of break to play. Come on.
Miss.
Damn it. All right, so number 1 is one of the hardest holes on the course. He historically plays terrible on number 1. We're good. We'll be back. He's just got to take advantage of the par 5s today. He didn't do that.
That was a ton of break on such a short putt.
He put a lot of break. Come on, Tiger. All right, we're good. Everybody relax.
Guys, one of the funnest things, if any of you have ever watched Matt Guarino watch sports that he is invested in, it is one of, I mean, you introduced me to the love of sports gambling, and it's not really the winning or it's the care for the game. Yeah. That's what you play for.
And it just allows you to care about any random, like I was loving the national championship game because I was live betting. I had pregame bets. Like it just makes you care about sports more.
So you know what I saw? So the guy in front of me had a ticket plus 900 that KJ Davis would score the most points. And I thought that was like low key an incredible bet.
I don't even know which one KJ Davis is.
He's the star point guard on Carolina.
Oh yeah, he's good.
I think he did. He led their team in points. I know that. I don't know if he led the whole game, but like those bets are the ones I'm finding are the best, are the ones that are like more likely to happen than they're currently marketed at, but they're like really high odds, but they're more likely than that. And just diversify on those and you'll kill it. Like that's where you win. I think it's hard to win the 50-50s.
Yeah, I don't like betting those because like you lose so much more than you win. Obviously, you only have to win a couple times to like make more money, but I like just winning.
So imagine a tournament like the Masters and you take a look at all the futures and you pick like 10 that are like for sure, like way undervalued. Yeah. And you bet 10 of them. You only need to make one.
Yeah. I mean, I like the matchups better in golf. Like
so matchups are what?
Matchups are like who's going to win out of these two players, you know, best score at 4 rounds. And they're usually around even money.
They'll who did we take? Is it we or you?
We.
Okay, so who did we take?
We got Morikawa against a couple people. We have Shane Lowry against someone. We got Oosthuizen over Bryson, which they were tied going into today. Do
you have Tiger over anyone?
No, they didn't have that. I have a small amount on Tiger to win. We have.
Do you have Koepka over anyone?
No, I did not like it. I do have Koepka over someone because I hated the guy he was up against, McIlroy, I think. And
yes. Can you send me the matchups later?
Yeah. I sent him in the chat.
Oh, you did?
A few days
okay,
ago.
I'll check.
But we have Scheffler top 10 guaranteed lock, and we have a couple other top.
Wait,
10s.
who top 10?
Scheffler.
Who's Scheffler?
Scotty Scheffler, the best player in the world right now.
Is he number 1 in the world?
Number 1. He's
Scotty Scheffler.
3 times his last 5 starts.
Who is this? An American?
Yeah, he's from Dallas. He was like an epic junior golfer. Won like his whole entire life. He was epic in the Ryder Cup this past year. He's awesome.
So this is
normal guy. Like really, like just jovial, friendly. You'll like him because he's. I don't know if you like him or not, but because of this, but he's not technical at all about the golf swing. He just kind of like he says he lets the flight of the ball make his swing. So he's swinging all different kinds of ways. He'll fall off shots. He'll like be off balance. Like he's very cool to watch.
I can get behind that.
Yeah, he's great.
And that is fundamentally against the way that I would play, but that's because I don't have the feel. So I think there's there's thinking athletes and there's feeling athletes. I am a thinking athlete.
Yeah, I like the feeling. I like the Freddie Couples like hit it 55 yards is pure feel versus the Bryson. I'm gonna do the clock to get to 6.
Yeah, that's what I do. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's better for amateurs because it gives you like a strict process. But for someone who's been playing the game their entire lives, they know how to hit it.
Yeah, I think that there's a level of competition where analytics aren't the live and die by, right?
Yeah.
They can be beat by humans. Yeah.
Well, it's fun.
All right. So guys, $1 billion podcast. Another episode. Masters week. Matt, are you calling Tiger?
Tiger winning. Yep.
I'm calling the field.
Let's go.
Someone
Tiger.
else. Morikawa, dude's a machine. I like players that don't think. So they're just there. All math. That's Morikawa. All right. Send it off. So